Hello everyone, welcome to another video of my channel. Today we will learn some more CSS things. This time we'll be developing a custom tooltip using only HTML and CSS from scratch. Here you can see we have taken two files, one HTML and CSS. Let's write some HTML code at first. Let's do some optional things. For beautification we'll be using a Google font named Roboto. Let's integrate that. Now let's write something in our body section. Let's name this class as container. Let's create another div here named say tooltip. Let's write here something, say hover me, as you can see it here. Now let's write the content of the tooltip. We are creating another div element. Let's give it a name like say bottom. Let's write the content. So we are kind of done with writing HTML. Now it's time to write the styles. At first let's include the CSS file. Now let's go to our CSS style and apply it. At first we added the font family. As you can check, it changed. Now let's add some style for the container class. Here we centered our content. Now let's start writing our tooltip class. So the first thing we'll be doing is give the position of the tooltip, which is relative, and we added two optional properties, fit content and margin auto and cursor pointer. Now if I hover here, I can see its cursor is pointer. Add styles to this bottom div, that means this component. So let's add some border, then background color, padding. All these are optional properties, kind of optional. Say border radius 10px. Let's give the color white. For the text, let's give it a fixed width, say 130px. Now we will give its position absolute, and now let's center it. Say give it some top 20px and say left minus 40px. Yes, it has come to the center. Now let's give some style to the content, that means this title and content class. These are optional styles also. Now let's try to add a triangular shape here to look it more realistic. I have already discussed how to draw a triangle. You can check my video. So in order to add the triangular shape to this tooltip, we'll be using CSS selector named before. At first let's give some border 10px solid and the same color we used. Let's give it position absolute, give some width and height, say 40px. Unfortunately we cannot see the content. Let's give it a content. Still we cannot see it. Now we can see it. So there is our content. Let's take it to this position. For that let's at first reduce its size. So we are making the width and height to 0. So you see this has come here. In order to make triangular shape, we'll be using the border color property. Here we are giving 4 different colors to the 4 sides. Let's give it at first. So as you can see, there are 4 segments. What we'll be doing is we'll keep this lower triangular portion and get rid of all the other 3 triangles. Color property are taken place clockwise direction. That means this red, it starts from the top. So since we want this part to be our segment, so this yellow color will be replaced by this background color. Now let's make the other colors transparent, but before that let's take it to this position. First we are giving it top 0. It has come this far. Maybe we need to give top minus pixel. Let's see, let's give it to minus 10 pixel. It has gone up, but we need to make it more top. So now it kind of aligns with the top property. Now we will have to make it to the a bit left. What about giving left 0? It has come this far, so let's add some more left properties, say 80 pixel, reduce it a bit, say 60 pixel. I think it is kind of center. Now let's get rid of this other 3 colors by adding transparent property, and here we go. So our content is kind of ready. Now it's time to add some transition property. So which transition properties we'll be using in order to make it disappear? We'll be using some properties like opacity, visibility, and add some translate attributes. So in the bottom class, let's add opacity 0 and visibility hidden. Let's save and see, it has gone. So our target is whenever we will be hovering on this element, it should appear. So this element means this tooltip class. So we need to add the properties in the tooltip hover section. So here we will give the visibility visible, opacity 1, but for which class? Our class will be this bottom class, right? So we need to make sure of this bottom. Now let's save it and see what happens. Yes, as we are hovering over it, we can see our tooltip. Now let's add some transition property to see its appearance a more beautiful way. So for that reason, here in the bottom class we'll add transition. Say for the visibility it is 0 second, no problem, but for the opacity, let's see the opacity change in with a little bit of delay, say 0.3 second, and we want it to be linear. So if we save it and see, you see the opacity is coming a bit late, and we also want to show it with a translate y property. That is, when it will be hovered, let's give the transform translate y to say 30 pixel. So whenever this will be hovered, the tooltip will appear from top to bottom. Let's see, but it will not work like that. We will have to add some transition here also. Transform, say the same time 0.3 second with linearly. Now let's save and see what happens. Yes, this is working, but this has gone a bit low. Let's give the translate y, let's decrease the value. Yes, as you can see, once we hover the component, the tooltip is coming with a visibility of 0 delay, but an opacity and a transform with 0.3 seconds delay. Thus our tooltip, custom tooltip design is done. If you find this helpful, please try to share this video with others. That's all from today. Thank you very much.